Right, with me now is Richard from the Late Night Gimp Fight, one of the Gimps.
Yes, that's right, one of the 5. Hello.
Excellent. How long have you been going to Edinburgh?
Next summer will be our 10th anniversary, and I think for the past 9 years, I think we've probably done about seven shows. I'm sure that will be incorrect, but something along those lines. But yeah,
we don't need accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's
It feels like we've done it every year, but we've had the odd year off every so often. And in fact, last year we had I think 2 years off previously, which was a nice feeling. And then we just felt like we had to get back out there and do something. We missed it a bit too much, I think.
Your material is pretty hectic, isn't it? It's quite high energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it requires, I think we just got lazy. So what we used to do every Edinburgh would be a new show every year, and I think we did that for 4 to 5 years. And just at the end we were like, it's really hard work, because we try and mix dance and sketch and kind of set pieces and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it was exhausting. So we took time off, and then we did best of shows. But then, we finally thought, I think it's time to get off our backsides and do it. So yeah, we had a new show last year.
You were very successful very quickly, weren't you? Because you were nominated for Best Newcomers in the Comedy Awards.
Yes, so it was a bit cheeky. We'd already done one show in Edinburgh, but it was only 45 minutes, so it came in underneath the threshold. So we weren't eligible at all that year. Then the second year we came up, we got nominated for Best Newcomer, which was just the most extraordinary thing. Like, we really didn't expect it. It was incredible. Really.
You've done a list. It's pretty.
Yeah, no, it was. Well, I think the most surreal part of that whole thing was when we got nominated. The panel from Newsnight came in to watch the show. And I can't remember who we had now, but David Schneider was there and some other people, and it was just like the BBC camera was we're in the tiny cabin that we were in. It was just a very surreal moment as we were doing essentially knob gags and songs for an hour with all these very cerebral people sat in the corner.
So where were those early shows? Did you start off in the kind of smaller venues?
Yes, so we've been very lucky. We've always been in the Pleasance, because we started off doing our monthly shows at the Canal Cafe just in Warwick Avenue, and then we were in the Pleasance, and we were and I'm trying to recall what it was called. It was called the Hut back then. I think it's called the Here and There now. I think it's slightly further down, but it's still the same venue, but it really was just a shipping container.
Yes.
And we were meant to be just near the courtyard, but through some planning permission we were then put in a car park around the corner, so it was even harder to find the first time.
I think they call the Pleasance This and That.
This and That, yes, exactly. So one of those. And yeah, it was tiny, but it was perfect for us because it was that kind
of you doing high energy stuff in there.
Exactly. And it was on at midnight, and it was just complete havoc. But it was perfect for us. And then we slowly gone up, and now we're really fortunate that we're in really big venues.
Yeah, so I've done mainly early shows at the Fringe, like in the kind of early afternoon, and I did one late night one, and it almost killed me.
Yeah.
Just because you have to wake up in the morning. And you know that it's hours and hours before you're actually going to be on, and you fill the day with stuff, and you can't sleep, and you can't eat, and it's a nightmare. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you, how hard is that? Having explained that it is,
it's really hard. It's awful, because basically the focus of your day shifts. So once you've done a show at midnight and you finish at say 1 o'clock, your adrenaline's going, you're really pleased. It's either gone really badly or it's gone really well. Either way, you want to just kind of let off some steam. So you then go to one of the performers bars, or the thing about Edinburgh, everything's open 24 hours pretty much. So we're going to get a drink here. And then you'll stay out till 4 or 5, and then you'll get up late in the afternoon and feel terrible, and then the day begins, and it's just this kind of horrible vicious circle. So by the time you come back home from London, your body clock's all over the place, you feel exhausted all the time, and it's a very surreal experience.
Yeah, I mean, what this show is all about is trying to help people get around those sort of problems. I mean, it's very hard to find. Obviously, there's no magic bullet. Yeah. But do you have any suggestions, any advice on how to handle yourself?
I suppose, from my point of view, I always feel very lucky that I'm in a sketch group, because there are 5 of us, and whether we've had a good show or a bad show, we experienced it together. And at the end we can kind of go, oh, well, what a terrible audience, even though it might have been us or whatever.
Do you stay together?
Well, so we're all in the same flat,
right.
Which is a good thing and a bad thing. So by the end of the month, we've been living in each other's pockets, and we don't want to see each other ever again. Okay. We'll leave it. We'll leave it a couple of weeks. But it just means that you've always got people that you can kind of talk to. But you do realise how important it is to talk to people at Edinburgh, because I think there is a tendency to kind of put on a brave face and just say, oh yeah, it's fine, it's all going well, but actually inside you're going, oh, I had a terrible review or whatever. And also there is this horrible tendency, I mean, there's that cartoon where it's like an audience view in a comedy show and everyone's laughing. There's like a comedian's view of his audience, and there's that one person you see. And that's the same.
Who's a critic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. That's the same for Edinburgh. People always remember the bad things and forget that actually lots of people are enjoying the show or having it. So sometimes it's good to have people that can put things in perspective, because otherwise it's just you on your own and you kind of build things up in your head, and it can be quite stressful.
Yeah, we talked to some other people who are just like one-man bands who go up there and do everything themselves, flyer themselves.
Yeah.
Do that.
No, I admire that so much.
Absolutely.
Because it's Edinburgh is so rewarding, but it does take a lot out of you.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be reminded that other people are experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I say it is good to have that support network. I've only ever been there. I've never been there on my own, and I think it would have been an absolute nightmare. I would have not treated myself well.
No, well, I mean, Edinburgh. I mean, kind of almost the good basics, which I don't think anyone will follow or anyone will learn. Try and drink in moderation, try and eat healthily, and just try and get some sleep, which it sounds like the easiest thing to do, but Edinburgh is unrelenting, because it's also, when you're in the comedy world in particular, it's kind of all your best friends are up there, and they're there all the time, and you can kind of, the party keeps on going, and actually you realise that you're not taking care of yourself, and
it's like a holiday camp, and then you suddenly think, I've been drunk for like 10 days.
What day is this?
I have no idea.
And you're performing every day, and it can sometimes become like Groundhog Day. You're just like, I don't know where I am.
There's a lot of routine about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which if those are bad habits.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, as I say, done 7 or 8 fringes. I haven't learned how to figure it out, but if you can try and take care of yourself, it's easier.
Yeah. Favourite places in Edinburgh? Favourite places to go?
This is going to go against what I've just said.
Okay.
City Restaurant is the best big breakfast and the best late night fish and chips and batter sausage. That's amazing.
Do you have a deal with them? Because literally in my notes here, I say I've read that you're fans of the City
Cafe. Yes.
Because I read an interview that you did. So you're at least on brand.
Well, exactly. Thank you, City Cafe. No, we don't actually. We really should. And it's so unhealthy. But because whenever we would walk from our venue up to Brooks Bar, we would always go past City, and you just pop in for.
But it's moderation, isn't it? This is the thing. It's not talking yourself out of doing bad things. It's talking yourself out of doing bad things all the time. Yeah. Not necessarily.
Exactly. You're just going to say to yourself, maybe I don't need that tonight, or maybe I'll. They're saying this will be happening again tomorrow, so I don't need to worry. And I think that would help. But yeah, it's not easy.
Do you have any advice that you would want to give to somebody who is going up there this year, maybe for the first time?
I think just try and remember why you're doing it in the first place. If you enjoy what you're doing and you see Edinburgh as an opportunity to show people what you love doing, then just try and remember that, because you're not going to be popular with everyone, but that doesn't really matter. You'll find your audience, you'll find your comfort level. It'll be terrifying, but it'll be incredibly exciting, and whatever you learn at the end of it will make you a better comic and make you a better performer, even though at the time you're probably thinking, I might have bitten off more than I can chew here. But everyone thinks that, and you don't need to win awards. It can just be, if you get out of it what you wanted to at the beginning, then you'll have a much happier month. Yeah,
that's good advice, I think. We had via social media, we had a question in from Backstage on the Fringe, which is actually, I will plug, it's a brilliant podcast that does a very super forensic interviews with just a real big variety of different types of performer at the Fringe. It's really good. We'll put the details in the links below. But they were asking, what changes would you say that there's been to the Fringe over the last 10 years that have been for the better, and are there any changes that have been for the worst?
It's a good question. I mean, the Fringe is much more open now than it used to be when we started. It used to be, if you weren't in one of the big four, like the Pleasance or the Underbelly or Assembly or even C venues, it was, you kind of felt that you weren't part of the action. But then slowly over these 10 years, the free Fringe, the fact that you're getting comedy nominees at free venues just represents how much that has now become as strong as any of the other venues. Which on one side I suppose means there's so much choice, it's slightly overwhelming. But at the same time it means you can it'll be you and 3 other people in a room, and you'll find something incredible, and then they'll probably get nominated, and you saw it for free or for a couple of quid. So I think that's definitely a good thing. And I suppose from a bad thing, it's a lazy point of view, when we first started going, you could pretty much just turn up to any show and you'd get in, because it was still, the Fringe was still pretty big, but it wasn't, huge. But now you really have to be organised and book your seats in advance, because all the big shows are going to sell out. Which is kind of a shame. It kind of takes the spontaneity out of it, because it used to be you go, let's just take in a few shows this evening, and now that's just not going to happen.
I'm terrible. When I go up there to see shows, I usually go up for like 3 or 4 days. If we haven't got a show there, I would just go up for 3-4 days and see stuff. And you go now to like the box office and you put your card in, and it just prints out all of your pre-booked tickets. And I'm very anal about it. I have a spreadsheet that's like,
I think
we
that's
go from
the way
this
to
venue
do
to
it.
this venue.
And I think that's changed a lot, because it did used to be, I'll just see what happens, but now you'll just find out a day and you haven't seen anything, because you go, okay, we completely misjudged this. But I think that now the Fringe is much more accessible, and that people can just take a punt on bringing a show up and not feel that they're going to risk all of their livelihoods doing it. And that's got to be a good thing, because that's what the Fringe is. It's meant to be open for everyone, and I think that's now possible and truer than ever.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for going there.
Thank you.
Thank you.